You once spent an entire year learning to walk, talk, and recognize the people who loved you most, and you remember none of it. Not the first time you heard your mother's voice clearly. Not the first time you stood up on your own legs. Not your first birthday, your first steps, your first words. Gone. Erased. As if they never happened. But the real answer is far stranger than simple forgetting. Your brain wasn't broken during those years. It was working perfectly. It just wasn't built yet to do the one thing you're doing right now. Think about your earliest memory. Go ahead. Try to find it. For most people, that memory sits somewhere around age 3 or 4. Anything before that is blank. Total darkness. Scientists call this infantile amnesia, and it isn't a flaw. It's a universal feature of being human. Here's the strange part. Babies aren't bad at remembering. In fact, they're remarkably good at it. Watch a 6-month-old flinch at a sound they heard a week ago. Watch a 1-year-old reach for a toy hidden under a blanket, recalling exactly where it went. Their brains are absorbing the world at a staggering pace. So why does none of it stick? Psychologist Carolyn Rovi Collier spent decades studying infant memory using a clever method. She would tie a ribbon from a baby's foot to a mobile hanging above their crib. When the baby kicked, the mobile moved. Babies as young as 2 months old learned this connection fast. And weeks later, when placed back in the same crib, they remembered. They kicked immediately, expecting the mobile to dance again. So the memories are there. They're just not the kind you can carry into adulthood. This is where the story gets interesting. There are different types of memory, and they don't all come online at the same time. Procedural memory, the kind that lets you ride a bike or recognize a song, develops early. Emotional memory develops early too, which is part of why a baby can sense danger or comfort without a single word being spoken. But autobiographical memory, the kind that lets you say, "I remember when this happened to me on this day, in this place," requires something else entirely. It requires a sense of self, a timeline, a story you can place yourself inside of. And that sense of self doesn't exist yet in a 1-year-old. Neuroscientists point to the hippocampus, a small curved structure deep in your brain shaped like a seahorse. It's the region responsible for stitching memories together into a coherent narrative, tagging them with time and place. In infants, the hippocampus is still under construction. New neurons are being produced at an explosive rate, faster than at almost any other point in your life. Here's the twist almost nobody expects. That rapid neuron growth might actually be why the memories disappear. Researcher Paul Frankland, working with mice, found that boosting neuron production in the hippocampus didn't help memory. It erased it. The new cells were essentially overwriting the old connections before they could be locked in. The very thing that makes an infant's brain so capable of learning may be the same thing that makes it incapable of remembering. Growth and memory, fighting for the same space. Your brain during infancy wasn't failing to record your life. It was too busy building itself to also build a library. But there's another piece to this puzzle, and it has nothing to do with neurons. It has to do with language. Try to picture a memory without using any words to describe it. Difficult, isn't it? Most of what you remember is wrapped in language. A sentence, a label, a story you've told yourself, or someone else, more than once. Psychologist Catherine Nelson proposed that memories only become ours, in a lasting way once we can talk about them. Once a toddler starts forming sentences, parents start asking questions. What did you do today? Who did you see? Where did we go? Each retelling reinforces the memory, gives it shape, gives it a place in your personal timeline. Before language, an experience is just a sensation. After language, it becomes a story. And stories are what stick. This is why your earliest memories often arrive right around the same time your vocabulary exploded. It's not a coincidence. It's the moment your brain gained the tool it needed to file experiences away as things that happened to me. So somewhere between the ages of 2 and 4, 3 things converge. The hippocampus matures enough to stop sacrificing old memories for new neurons. A sense of self solidifies enough to place experiences within a personal narrative. And language develops enough to encode and rehearse those experiences in a form your future self can retrieve. Before that convergence, you existed. You felt things, learned things, loved people. You just weren't yet a narrator capable of recording it all. There's something almost comforting in that. The years you can't remember weren't lost time. They were construction time. Every hug, every lullaby, every familiar face leaning over your crib shaped the architecture of the brain that is reading these words right now. The wiring from those years is still there. You're using it. You just can't point to the specific moment it was laid down. Now think about this. Somewhere in your house right now, there might be a child too young to ever recall this exact day. The breakfast you made them, the song you sang in the car, the way you said their name, they won't remember it. But it will become part of them anyway, quietly, permanently, built into the very brain that will one day look back, try to find its earliest memory, and come up empty, never knowing that the moment it's searching for helped build the mind doing the searching. You don't remember being a baby, but being a baby is the reason you remember anything at all.